What was normal in the 1990s but rare or non-existent now? Being completely unreachable by anyone for an entire day or more with no one thinking that it was unusual or rude. Taking your disposable camera to get developed. And having no idea if any of your pictures were even usable until you got the pictures back. Coin arcades in malls. And the malls, I guess. I kinda miss arcades. A printed list of family and friends' phone numbers stuck on the fridge. Calling the movie theater or looking in the paper for movie times. Playing multiplayer video games with all of the players in the room together. We had some pretty heated N64 parties. Hey, what was the guy from that one thing? I don't know. Me neither. Oh well. When picking someone up from the airport. You could wait for them at their gate. Giving a meeting point and a meeting time in case we get lost. Wait for the bus without doing anything else than waiting. Pressing play and record at the same time. Home telephone and answering machine. Also with these. Memorizing phone numbers. Floppy disks. My parents had a file cabinet full of those things. Hotlines for the weather report. Current time. And movie show times. Keeping a binder full of CDs in your car. I used to write 10-page letters to a girl I knew in Norway and she did the same for me back in the States. I'd get like one a month and it was so exciting to read them. People had to put so much thought into those letters before the internet. So probably that. Yellow pages. Being unreachable. Telephone booths. Landline home phones. And having to talk to your friend's parents for a couple minutes while you waited for your friend to come to the phone. Talking to your friend's mom to see if they were home. MTV playing music videos. Calling from a payphone for a ride but calling collect and saying your name as, "I am here, come get me," to save the quarter. Feeling like the future is bright and that things can only get better from here. Dial-up internet. Blockbuster. Ren and Stimpy. Remembering at least 4 important phone numbers. Card catalogs to find books in a library. Showing up at someone's house unannounced because you were in the neighborhood and wanted to say hi. A pet Tamagotchi. God. The chores I did for that thing. Showing up at your friend's place unannounced. Now you gotta send a text 4 years in advance. Using ASL as an online introduction. Meeting people at the time and place you said you'd meet them when you made plans days or even weeks ago. You used to say, "Hey, let's hang out on Tuesday at 7 p.m. at downtown bar." And then without ever having to text or call again you'd both meet there. Back then I had a landline phone. Camcorder. Film camera. Tube TV. VCR. Dial-up internet. Pager. And a newspaper subscription. All gone now. Being told to get off the internet so someone could use the phone. America Online CDs in the mail 3 to 4 times a month. MapQuest and special stores that would print out directions for your road trip. Modem noises. Those red bars you would put across your car's steering wheel to prevent theft. Landline phones. Pagers. Ashtrays in restaurants. Bars. Cars. And airliner seats. Basic knowledge of Ms-DOS. Going in the bush all day to build tree forts and tie a rope to the trees and swing from it. Having fast food as a treat. Jumping on our bikes and going on dirt tracks all day. Dubbing music from the radio on cassette tape. Spending hours on end trying to choose a movie to hire at the video store. Playing sports on the streets with your neighbors. Leaving house door unlocked. Seeing lots of butterflies. Using a library to research. Getting up 6 a.m. on a Saturday to watch the cartoon marathon that would finish at 10 a.m. Going to the local pools in the morning and leaving at close open-mouth smile. Ringing home phone on a collect call. Well, in New Zealand anyway, haha, collect call meant the phone you ringing has to pay for the call. I made many of them. Kids just doing their own thing. Riding the bus across town. Riding bikes wherever. Just needed to be home before dark. Having a key to the house since you'd be the only one there when you got home, from kindergarten on. Walk to, from school from kindergarten on. Going to the mall to just hang out. I got an old-ass home movie of my friends and I just hanging at a mall. Sharing food. It was so much fun. Now the mall is a slog. A single-family home under $200. A Discman plugged into a cassette tape with a wire to play music in your car. Gas that was under $1 in the US. I still feel like I was in an alternate reality, but I remember. I used to have one of those nice leather Franklin Covey planners. It let people know you meant business. Lol. Every year I would order a new calendar for it. Other rarities for me are having a checkbook, buying magazines, watching the early morning news for weather and traffic, having books in the bathroom, horribly heavy CRT monitor screens, Walkmans, eavesdropping in on a telephone call. You had to cover the mouthpiece to make sure they wouldn't hear you breathing and laughing. White dog poo. Alfalfa sprouts on sandwiches you buy at the supermarket. Roller rinks are now very rare to come by. Pre-COVID you would go to one around once a year. But now post-COVID they're almost all gone. Also in the 90s everyone actually went to them pretty often. Especially for birthdays. Paper airplane tickets. Paper maps. Typewriters. Handwriting important documents. Pogs of all kinds. The ability to simply exist without much effort. I tell my students this story all the time. I got into the top university in my state as a classics major just because I was in the top quarter of my class. I paid cash for my education with a job I had at the campus bookstore. During my interview for my first internship, I was never asked any technical questions but rather a few questions about my availability and work hours. My first job out of college was as a software engineer, even though my degree was in classics. Because my employer trained me on the job. Was I the smartest student in my class? Not really. I did my best. And that was enough to get by. I was an average person and was able to provide for myself without much effort. Try doing all that today. Columbia House 1-cent deal. 2 to 3 foot snowstorms in MA every winter that didn't melt right away. Putting a disc in my PS1 or PS2, early 2000s, and just playing the damn thing without having to stress over downloads, uploads, installs, random updates, online crap. Kids outside all the time until the streetlights went on. Only making calls after 9 p.m. because it was free. Having to buy minutes on a phone. Long-distance calls costing money. Privacy. In the 90s you could just go somewhere and not have to worry about every tiny thing you do. Everywhere you go. What you wear. What kind of cereal you like. Etc. being harvested. Now it feels like every single thing we do or decision we make in life is monitored and recorded. Worse yet, people seem to be okay with this because it's convenient. VCRs. Cinemax Friday After Dark. And that one channel that had scrambled porn. A billboard for a beeper company that had a sexy woman in a bikini suggestively straddling a giant beeper, that, I assume, was on vibrate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.